Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, my dear brothers and sisters. Inshallah, in tonight's Tarawih, we will be reciting Juz 26, which comprises of Surah Al-Ahqaf, the sand hills, Surah Muhammad, the Prophet, Surah Fath, the victory, Surah Hujurat, the apartments, Surah Qaf, and the first section of Surah Dhariyat, up to verse 30, the winds that scatter. Surah Ahqaf. The Ahqaf are the long and winding crooked tracts of sandhills, like those in the country of the Ad people, adjoining Hadramaut and Yaman. These Ad people probably had a fertile, irrigated country, but their sins brought on Allah Azza wa Jal's punishment, mentioned in verses 24 to 25. So despite having everything at their disposal, they still chose to disobey Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah Azza wa Jal created everything, and those who pray to things besides Allah are definitely on the wrong path. Allah Azza wa Jal also highlights the importance of being kind to your parents for their sacrifices for you, and in your old age pray for the well-being of your offspring. Then we have Surah Muhammad. This surah was revealed around the first year after Hijrah, when the possibility existed that the pagan Meccans might attack the Muslims. This and the next two surahs deal with external and internal relations when the Ummah was formed. Allah Azza wa Jal touches upon the hypocrites, like those in Medina at the time of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, where they were people who only paid lip service to Islam, and though they are people who Allah Azza wa Jal has cursed. Then we have Surah Fath. This surah was revealed after the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, which was signed 6 years after Hijrah between the Muslims and the Meccans. Hudaybiyah is an area where that treaty was signed, where the Prophet ﷺ, together with around 1,400, 1,500 Muslims, wanted to perform Umrah, but they were not allowed to enter Mecca. The treaty that was signed that day proved to be a great moral, social, and political victory for Islam. Victory from that incident, it's highlighted that victory comes from calmness of mind, faith, devotion, bravery, and patience. Subhanallah. Then we have Surah Hujurat. This surah was revealed in around 9 AH, when many delegations visited Medina to offer their loyalty to Islam. The word Hujurat, inner room, occurs in verse 4, and Allah Azza wa Jal highlights in this surah to make peace between two quarreling parties with justice. And remember that the believers are a single brotherhood. Allah Azza wa Jal highlights some very important manners, such as do not laugh, do not speak ill of others, do not make wounding remarks, or call others by offensive nicknames. Avoid suspicion as much as possible, and do not spy on each other, nor speak ill of each other behind their backs. Then we have Surah Qaf. We now come to a group of 7 Meccan surahs dealing with Allah's revelation through nature, history, and the prophets, pointing to the hereafter. Allah Azza wa Jal is capable of doing everything. Allah gives new life to a land that is dead. Similarly, He will bring us to resurrection after we die. We then have Surah Dhariyat. This surah deals with the wind, that the wind may be strong or gentle. It might be scattering things all over the place, dividing things in all direction, but Allah Azza wa Jal's purpose remains one. And Allah Azza wa Jal reminds us to look at the history of past people who rejected Allah Azza wa Jal. My brothers and sisters, tonight's life lesson, Allah gives us a lot of moral lessons in Surah Hujurat, especially around backbiting and slandering. How much of our conversation is backbiting, talking ill of others, talking about things which we know that person will dislike? We are in essence giving them our good deeds, and we are taking their sins. Make sure that our conversations do not involve things like backbiting. May Allah Azza wa Jal safeguard us all. Allahumma ameen.